Hey everybody, like me, you watched the Kansas City Chiefs host the Houston Texans for a really incredible game, a Thursday night NFL kickoff game that announced that football is back. Yes, absolutely. And I'm really happy that the NFL took a direct action set of events and messages to say that society needs to, in one fell swoop, say that Black Lives Matter and that we will end racism. Fantastic. However, when the players from the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans came out in a locked arms show of support, there was booing. It was mentioned on the broadcast, it was mentioned on social media, all over the place. And, I thought about it before I responded with a video. And it occurred to me that, I can go right now to the website and I can look up and possibly order a protest group from Crowds on Demand, crowdsondemand.com. Don't believe what I'm saying? Take a look at this, okay? Because here, as they say, here it is, right here, right? Take a look at this, all right? Or as they say, will you take a freaking look at this, right? Take a look. Boom. Crowds on Demand, your home for protests, rallies, advocacy, audiences, PR stunts, and political events. Services available nationwide. Contact us, request a quote, and so on, right? So I thought about that. And then I thought, oh, no, that couldn't have been the case because, they're all Kansas City Chiefs and their fans and their season ticket holders, right? And all that stuff. Then I checked again and I found this little, not so little, but really cool, more than a tidbit from the Kansas City Star. Once again, I say, take a look at this. Will you take a freaking look at this, please? Have a freaking look at this thingy right here. Boom. Want to go to tonight's Chiefs opener at Arrowhead? Tickets remain for the game. Okay? That was September 10th. So you could buy tickets. They remain for the game. You could buy tickets. Okay? So what's to stop someone from from Crowds on Demand having already done that? Okay? Why? I mean, tell me, all right? I could hire demonstrators, give them money to do a PR stunt at the game and make sure they get seats as close to the front as possible. And then guess what? All they would have to do is, when there was some show of racial support or unity, all they would have to do is what they did. Boo. Now, for those of you who say, oh, I don't believe that, my question to you is, look, think of the year that we've had. We had the President of the United States send federal troops to cities the president claimed were war zones, under duress. They needed help. Only to find that those federal troops were themselves the cause of skirmishes. And they were accosting people off the street who hadn't done anything. Some of them, they said, were recognized protesters. Wasn't quite clear, and then they were released. I mean, for me, hey, look, stay home. But that's another story. They're not me. But I digress. They were out there. And so, as I reported earlier, at the start of the president's effort, Black Lives Matter search for Black Lives Matter, the term, on Google, from data compiled by Google Trends, showed that it was in searches for Black Lives Matter were in lockstep with searches for protest. In such a way that Black Lives Matter concerns and the Black Lives Matter message, because of the dizzying number of displays of police brutality and racism were driving these protests. A Trump operative, in fact, now former head of the Trump public relations campaign, had said in a publication that Black Lives Matter was a concern. And they were seeking a way to, this is my term, decouple it from the public conversation in a way that, so that would not be harmful to their effort to have President Trump get reelected, okay? So, and this is me surmising, what did they do? They had the president send out troops to make it look like these protests were happening. And then, my assertion, paid other groups to make it look like they were countering. And so you have, voila, a makeshift skirmish. Now, for those of you who say, well, some of them were legitimate, I ask you this question. How do you truly know? Let's take the case of Oakland and the Yay Area Revolution. No one had ever heard of that until it was spray painted on a wall, then mentioned by the media and the chief of the, not the chief of police herself, no, but the public information officer for the chief of police, and then regurgitated by what local media there remains. So suddenly, this organization that in point of fact still doesn't exist is made to look like it exists, right? There's that. It is very easy to manufacture a look. And the media, which doesn't do any investigative reporting anymore, is simply trying to churn out news and information. A friend of mine with ABC7 admitted as such after reports of a hangman noose, a number of them, were circulating around Lake Merritt. And they, ABC7, interviewed an African-American gentleman who was said to have owned, he said that he owned the devices around there. In other words, no one pointed at him and said, oh, it was him. He came up with a self-made press conference, it would seem. Channel 7 then wrote in its publication, well, I'm not kidding you. Basically, what Channel 7 said was that because he was black, it meant that this wasn't a racial symbol. That's what Channel 7 wrote. He did not say that. But he played right into the hands of what he would have them say. That happened. So there have been a number of these patterns of events that to the media and the untrained eye, or the person that really wouldn't care to look like, mistakes, common events, which happen to be, in his case, mentioned again and again and again by the right-wing media. All right? So you have all of that and more examples. And then we have today's Thursday night football game where, again, anyone could buy a ticket from anywhere. You could have just flown into Kansas City, bought a ticket or met someone that bought one for you, headed in, lined up, and booed. I think the NFL needs to do an investigation about that and check that out. Okay? That didn't just happen. My assertion is that was planned. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. Thank you.